Well, hello, all my friends. Welcome back or welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a pattern review of the Mccall's M6506, which is a Tracey Reese pattern. If you're interested in learning more about this pattern and my review, please stick around and I'll tell you more about this pattern. So in today's video, I'm doing a pattern review of the Mccall's M6506. It's this Tracey Reese pattern right here that I just recently did for the BHM Pattern Designers Challenge. If you're not familiar with the BHM Pattern Designers Challenge, it's basically a challenge that is focused on Black history, or I'm sorry, Black designers. And so the challenge is hosted by Nateida. She goes by So Natural Dane, and also Keira, and she goes by the Island Sewcialist. I'll put both of the links to their Instagram accounts and also their YouTube channels in my description box below, so you could go over and check them out. So as the recording of this video as of today, you probably don't have much time to get in a project, but it is worth your while to go over on Instagram and follow the hashtag, and the hashtag is BHM Pattern Designers, and you can see all the lovely makes that was made for this particular challenge. It's a beautiful challenge that Nateida hosts every year, and the co-host for the past 2 years was Myra of, sorry, the co-host of the past 2 years was Myra of Myra Lorraine. But this year, the new co-host is Keira, and like I said, she goes by the Island Sewcialist, and I will put her links in the description box below as well. And in the previous years, they've done a really great job with this challenge. I've always been very impressed with this challenge, and so I always participate because I love the challenge. I love seeing all the different garments that people make throughout Black History Month. People get really creative, and they choose some really beautiful patterns. And so anyway, my pattern choice for this particular project is the Mccall's M6506. Like I said, it's a beautiful pattern designed by Tracey Reese. I really love this pattern, and let me explain to you why. The first reason is because this pattern has cup sizes. I love any pattern that comes with cup sizes. As long as it's drafted right? So, but that is like, for me, like a green light for the pattern, because when a pattern has cup sizes, you can get a more contoured look around your breast and around the upper part of your body. And so I was really pleased with that. This pattern also is designed for petite people, and so you have options to shorten or lengthen your garment in certain areas if you are very petite. This pattern features 13 given pieces. However, I only used 7 pieces because I omitted the pockets, the carrier, and the belt of this pattern. I also did a hack to the pattern, and I included a sleeve pattern, and that was really simple and easy. When you are trying to put a sleeve on a sleeveless pattern, there are some things that you need to look for. You can't always get away with it. You have to make sure that the cut and the design of the bodice is just right so that you can actually hack it and put a sleeve on it. So you don't want a garment that has like almost like a racer back type bodice to it, because it's going to be impossible to try to put a sleeve on that. You would have to do more drafting than you would want to do. But with this particular pattern, I'll go ahead and show you how it's on the model here. With this particular pattern, as you can see, the armhole here, not the armhole, sorry, the shoulder width, and also where the shoulder point is, it's about a ½ an inch to an inch inward. So it doesn't rest on her shoulder point at all. However, it's only about an inch away from that shoulder point, as you can see here. And because of that, and then the back it's pretty even going around the front of the arm side as well as the back of the arm side. So I knew that I would be able to extend that shoulder width out about an inch, and go ahead and put a sleeve on that. And like I said, you can't always do that with all patterns, but because this pattern was crafted in that way, it's just easy to just put a sleeve on that. And so I was really pleased with that, and that I was able to do that and to achieve that. This pattern has 12 darts, not darts, sorry, 12 pleats that you're going to be putting on the front of the dress, and 12 pleats that you're going to be putting on the back of the dress. And I'm going to talk more about that in a moment, but let me finish talking about the other features. It has a collar and a collar band. The collar is quite unique because it's not like your traditional collar where it's just a nice little collar that kind of sits around the neck and it's really short. This one is kind of almost like a statement collar. It's really big, and it's really pointy. It has a really nice point to the collar in the front. And so I was really impressed by the style of that. At first I thought I wouldn't like it because it's a really big, like I said, it's a really big collar, but it really looks nice, especially when it's button closed. It has a button placket, and it calls for, I believe it's 10, it calls for, yes, 10 5/8 of an inch buttons. However, I found the button placket to be a little bit too narrow. And so on my first garment, I had to use, I believe they are 9/16 buttons. And so that's a really small button. So the button placket, I had to extend that in my second version, but that's the only modification that I had to do. Like I said, I coming straight out of the envelope, I don't think a 5/8 of an inch button would fit on the front of the button placket in a way that would look pleasing. And so I had to, basically all I did was I took some of the seam allowance, because the button placket is separate from the bodice front and the skirt. And so all I did is I took out some of that seam allowance. And because I did that, obviously the area up on the neckline was a little bit wider. And so I had to adjust my collar and my collar band because of it. But it looks fantastic. It looks so much better with the bigger buttons. I was able to do, I think I did a 5/8 inch buttons for the second garment that I made. And I'm going to tell you about the fabric choices here because that's very important. And by the way, I did get this pattern from eBay, and I think I paid about $6 for it. And it was a while ago, but I think that you can still purchase this pattern on eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. And if I can find copies, I'll put the links in the description box below, and you could go over and check those out. But this is an OOP. This is an out of print pattern. And so you're not going to be able to find this at your local Joann or Hobby Lobby stores. But if you can find a copy on eBay, Amazon, or Etsy, it's worth your while because it's a beautiful pattern. So the fabric suggestions are soft, lightweight wovens such as challis, denim, cotton, and cotton blend fabrics. Now for my first project, I chose a 100% polyester fabric, and this beautiful stripe and floral fabric was purchased from Hobby Lobby, and I think I purchased it about a year and a half ago. And I regret to inform you that this fabric is not the best or suitable for this particular project. The weave of the fabric, the drape of the fabric, the way the fabric behaves and moves is just not a good choice for a shirt dress. And I should have known that going in. However, it did not work very well. The pleats, I had a really hard time getting the pleats to kind of stay in place because of it. It was just very unruly fabric in some ways. I mean, I made do with it, and everything worked out in the end beautifully. It looks beautiful. However, I would not I would not use this. I have about a yard of this fabric left, and I don't know if I'm going to use it. I might just donate it because it's just a fabric that I just did not really enjoy. And maybe it could just be because of this particular design. Maybe I just need to do something that's a little bit more loose fitting, maybe like an Ogden cami, or something that's just very drapey and flowy, instead of trying to do a structured project with it, because it just didn't work out very well. And like I said, it was just like a very flimsy fabric. And so I didn't have the best experience with the first garment, and it had nothing to do with the pattern. It was actually the fabric. It was 100% the fabric. It was just so hard to work with. The button placket just came out a little bit wonky. The hem of the dress, I had to cut and make it more even because one side got lopsided, and it was a mess. The fabric just did not work for this particular project. But like I said, the pattern does call for 12 pleats in the front and 12 pleats in the back. I think that was the most challenging part of the project, especially for the 100% polyester drapey fabric, just because there were so many different pleats to work with, and the fabric wasn't structured enough, and so it kept moving, and it just was not the best possible fabric for this particular project. However, those pleats are it. It was just so difficult getting through that pleating process. And just to think, I did 24 pleats on the first dress and 24 pleats on the second dress. So that's 48 pleats. And I did the projects back to back because, I was doing this for Black History Month, and I wanted to get all my projects done before the end of the month. But doing 48 pleats in 1 week, it was such a task. It was just overwhelming, and I will never do that again. But at the end of the project, one of the main reasons why I omitted the carriers and the belt is because I had worked so hard on those pleats and doing all these things for the pleats. I tired myself out real quick, and I decided to just not worry about doing the belt. And so I set that to the side for a future date. The pattern also comes with pockets, so you can do they have really nice big pocket sets on the front of the pattern. And let me show you what that image looks like again. And they're really cute pockets, but for me, I wasn't really looking for pockets for this particular dress, so I decided not to do it. And as I mentioned earlier on in the video, this pattern does come in cup sizes. I chose a cup size C, and the size for the finish sizes that I chose a 18 for the bust and a 16 for the waist. And I believe the 16 for the waist is like a 33.5 inches, whereas the cup size for a 16, I think it ended up being like a 40.5 or 41 inches for the bust. And so that was perfect for ease for me because I am about a 38.5 inches for the bust, 39-ish. So that ended up being a really great size, and I love the cup size. I thought that I would have to go to a D cup because I often wear a D size bra, but the C fit much better. So that's what I did. And as I mentioned before, I included a sleeve, and the sleeve pattern that I used for this was the Mccall's I think it's 7531, which is a pattern that I made back in the summer of last year. I think it was in August actually, and it was for a mood collaboration. And I'll go ahead and put the image of that skirt or a dress and show you how that turned out. But I really loved that project, and I loved the pattern, I loved the fabric, I loved everything about that project. And I had already did adjustments to that particular sleeve, and so I knew that I could fit that sleeve, and I knew that it would turn out beautifully if I could get it to match this Tracey Reese pattern. And so I walked the sleeve, so I measured around the the armhole of the sleeve, as well as for the front and the back of the pattern pieces for the Tracey Reese pattern, for the bodice pieces, to see if I can get that to fit, if it would look good, and how much ease it had. And I had to remove about almost 3/4 of an inch from the sleeve head because it had a quite a bit of ease. But other than that, that's all I had to do. And I was able to use the sleeve and it fit perfectly. I absolutely love how it fits. And I'll make sure that I put pictures throughout the video so you can see how both of these garments turned out. And by the way, the floral designed dress, that was actually meant to be worn for Valentine's Day, but my husband and I, we didn't go anywhere. I didn't take any pictures, so I'm just now getting around to showing you my Valentine's make. But that dress, I really love the way it turned out. I just don't like the way that the fabric behaves during the sewing process, but I was able to make it work and it looks beautiful. I love the dress. I really do. And then the second dress that I made with this pattern, which is of the purple floral cotton poplin fabric. This fabric is actually a fabric that Nateida of So Natural Dane designed, and she sold this fabric in her shop. You may still have some time to get over to her shop and purchase this fabric. She designed 3 different fabrics, and I'll show you what those look like here for this particular challenge. And I'll put the link to her website in the description box below so you could go over and check her out. Now, this link is an affiliate link, so I will get a small commission if you go over to her shop and buy something. However, the fabric and everything is so beautiful, and I absolutely love this fabric and the way she designed this fabric. So yeah, go head over, check out the shop. She has some other exciting things too over in her shop. She has enamel pins, she has labels for your garments, and just a whole bunch of nice little things at her shop that she has for Black History Month and for the Black History Month challenge. So anyway, I used this particular fabric, and this cotton poplin was a dream to work with for this particular pattern. And as I stated before, the pattern calls for challis, denim, cotton, and cotton blend fabrics. And so this particular fabric was the best choice, I think, for working with this pattern. This isn't a pattern that you can actually go rogue on and choose different fabrics if you want to. You know, some patterns you can do that with. I don't think that you can do that with this particular pattern because it is meant to be somewhat structured, like a semi-structured type garment. And so because of that, I think we should best, I think we would get better results if we stick to what's on the back of the envelope and just stick to those fabrics that are listed back there. The pattern also comes with bust darts and waist darts. So you have 2 bust darts in the front and 2 waist darts in the front. And then you have some waist darts in the back for shaping as well. And so I really like that. So it has a lot of shaping. It has cup sizes. It's just a beautiful pattern. It really is. I enjoyed this pattern. Now I'm going to tell you about the pieces that this pattern calls for. So you have your bodice front, and you can select the AB cup, the C cup, or the D cup. And then it has the bodice back. It has the armhole facing if you are doing the sleeveless version of it. And like I said, this pattern is, you will have to actually design a sleeve if you want to put a sleeve on it. And it's very easy to do that because the cut of the armhole will allow you to do that. However, all 3 versions here that they show on the front of this cover, they are all sleeveless here. It comes with a pocket, the skirt front, the skirt back, the front band, the collar band, the collar, and the belt and carriers. But like I said, I only used 7 pieces because obviously I didn't need to use the front for the AB cup or the D cup. And I didn't use the armhole facing, the pocket. I didn't use the belt or the carriers. And so I only used 7 pieces, including my self-drafted. If you include my self-drafted sleeve pattern, I used 8 pieces. And so it was a really nice pattern to work with. I really enjoyed myself with this pattern. I love the purple cotton poplin, the cotton poplin purple dress the best, just because it turned out wonderfully. I was able to, all the mistakes that I made on the first dress, which is the Valentine's dress, I was able to learn from that and then fix those mistakes in the second dress. And so the second dress turned out beautifully. I love the button placket. I made it a little wider. I love the collar. I love just everything about it. The drape, the feel of it, of the cotton, and the way it rests on my body, the way in which I can wear it. And I love the pleat detail. I don't know if I told you about the size range. I hope I did, but it comes in sizes. So it has 2 envelopes for this particular pattern. You can do the 8 to 16 or the 16 to 24. So yeah, it's a beautiful pattern. I highly recommend it. And like I said, if I can find any copies, I will make sure that I put the links in the description box below. But thank you so much for sticking around and learning more about my experience and this pattern review. So thank you, and I hope that you enjoyed yourself. And I can't wait until I show you the rest of the makes that I made for the Black History Month challenge. I'm going to try to get a video up on Saturday, so please stick around and join me on Saturday, and I'll show you more makes that I've made for the Black History Month challenge. All right, thank you everyone for stopping by, and I hope to see you all on Saturday. And until next time, everyone, stay creative. Bye.